Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for our Extravaganza COVID style. This is our 12th year for this event. And although it's a weird virtual event this year, we're so glad to have so many people supporting us. I'm always amazed and really grateful that every year when we do this event, people come out to support our cause. Truly, it just amazes me. This year is no exception, as you can see from our fundraising total so far. We've just got a lot of people watching us virtually this year, and we've received so much encouragement from people, which is more appreciated than you can ever know. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we're going to be doing tonight. First, one of the best friends that Plan ever had, Michael Flannery, is going to follow me and entertain us with a little comedy about COVID and 2020. When I told Michael that maybe that would be a good potential topic for tonight, he said, "Oh yeah, COVID. No pressure, don't worry." We love Michael, we love his humor, and I know you're going to like it too. Next, we're going to thank a few people who have been very helpful with this event and very helpful during the course of this year that's been challenging for everybody. And lastly, we're going to hear from a Plan participant, David Young, about his journey with Plan and with mental illness and what Plan has been able to offer him. I have to really commend Dave on sharing his story with the people who are here in person and with you online, because it's not an easy story. It's difficult. But David blesses us all here every time we see him with his insight, his humor, and his kindness. He's just universally beloved by our staff and other participants here. And I'm really appreciative that you showed up to tell your story, Dave. We're then going to wrap up our evening with a paddle raise of sorts, where we're just going to simply ask you to donate and help us reach our goal of $35,000. We have a great start, as you can see from our screen tonight if you're online. But we're going to have to make up some ground, and this is where I give you the hard sell at the end of the program here. So be prepared for that. I just wanted to let you know. A reminder that our auction and our auction items are going to be, that whole process is going to be open until 8:30 tonight. So if you're listening to the program and not able to bid for some reason, you can do that after our program ends until 8:30, and it'll automatically shut off. This event tonight is in fact our kickoff to our annual fundraising campaign. And we count on gifts from people like you to keep offering what we can to families and individuals who struggle with lifelong disabilities. This is why we're here tonight. To help that cause. But some of you are new to us, and you might be wondering, truly, why else are we here? We're here for a really simple reason: to offer peace of mind for families, to families and individuals dealing with serious and lifelong disability issues. Our founders in the mid-1990s were parents who were desperate to find an answer to the question, who can care for my loved one with a disability when I no longer can? And their sons, daughters, and other relatives had disabling conditions, and they provided a lot of support to those people to ensure that their lives were of quality. Because when you're born with a disability, like a developmental disability of some sort, or you develop a disability later in life, like a mental illness, or you acquire a disability through a traumatic brain injury, many things happen in reality. First, you're different. You might be stigmatized. You're frequently isolated from the mainstream community. It's likely that your income is limited because you're not able to work. And you could live in poverty, a lot of times in substandard housing. Your ability to join the community is really limited by your financial resources, transportation options, and your status as a different person. And you many times don't have a schedule, and you don't have people to talk to, and the services that are out there for you to take advantage of are rightly so, very professional in nature, and they deal with primary challenges in life, like medications and benefits and health care. And so it's very hard to live with a disability, and for many, it's families who step in to ease the burdens of living with a disability, because families can help you financially. They can reduce the isolation you feel. They engage you in family events and community events. They value you, they cherish you, and they love family members with disabilities. They remember their birthdays. They take them out to eat. They take them to Reds games. They involve them in hobbies and interests. They celebrate the holidays for them, and they advocate for them when they need it. And this is why Plan was really created, because there are professional services out there who will serve folks with disabilities. But the role that families play in keeping somebody who's got a lifelong, serious, challenging disability are those enrichment parts and that continuity of care part that all families worry will end if they suffer a catastrophic injury, or if they develop a condition of their own, or if they pass away. And that's what we're doing here tonight. We are offering peace of mind to mothers, fathers, siblings, and children who are concerned about loved ones with disabilities. And our founders created this mission that we take very, very seriously today. We want to provide people in these anguished positions some peace of mind that somebody's going to be cared for in the future. This is why we're here tonight, just to keep in mind, as the program unfolds, we're here for a really important reason. And without further ado, then, I'm going to introduce our very dear, good friend, Michael Flannery, to lighten the mood a little bit after I just kind of bummed everybody out a little bit. You can't see this, but Michael is walking the other way and waving. Very funny. Come on up here, Michael. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm always happy to be asked to break things that people have put a lot of time in to put together so it looks nice. Can you tell this is my first Zoom meeting? It is. It is. I've seen them on videos, so I knew to wear pants. So I am wearing pants and underwear. I'm kidding. I never wear underwear. So I'm not tonight. You're welcome for that visual, everybody. It's been tough for everybody. It's hard. Just the staying at home part. And I feel bad for the folks who live alone, who have to stay at home. I'm with my whole family staying at home. And I have friends and family who are alone. They just live alone. And now they can't go anywhere. And I don't know how they're getting through without anybody else at the house who's driving them crazy. They have nobody to argue with or fight with. How do these people make it? I thought that one was going to work. I really did. And we were concerned about why I thought the topic might not be right, but okay. Plan helps out quite a bit. Imagine this staying at home and a family member who has a disability, and everything is much harder. Plan is here to come through. You folks are here and came through. You did for my daughter Grace, who was born with Down syndrome. And at one point, they said, what does Plan do? Plan says, what do you need? We got my daughter into a school we wanted to get her into, and into the program that we wanted her into. We got her transportation to the school, but we couldn't get her home. My wife works across town. I was close enough. Elbow. But I couldn't pick her up for 2 hours after she got out of school. And she couldn't stay there by herself. And if the whole thing would fall apart just because I couldn't pick her up. And that seems like a little thing, but she wouldn't get the school. She wouldn't get the program that she needed. But you folks came through. And you created peace of mind. Because Plan was able to pick her up. And they brought her to their office and put her to work for a couple of hours. So she got more training. It's a little thing. It was part of some gas to go pick her up a couple miles from here and bring her back so that I could pick her up after work. But because of that, she was able to go to the school. She was able to get the other job training, and she now has 2 part-time jobs and couldn't be happier. If I can get her a couple more, I can quit. But it's all because of what you've done and what you're about to do on your bidding. And for that, me and my daughter, Grace, thank you. And now here comes the bidding.
There's a bidding screen on our computer right now. So take a look at these items, folks, and if you see something that you'd really like to have, bid. You can bid until 8:30 tonight. So let's keep that stuff going. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Michael, so much. At this point, I really want to take some time out to thank some people who helped with this event tonight. First, our office manager, Sharon Durr, is our organizational brains of this event every year, and this year was no exception. Thank you, Sharon. We really want to thank Omer Hussein, our millennial in residence, we call him. He coined that himself, who figured out how to piece this videography together, because no, not here, right? Not my skill at all. So thank you so much, Omer. I'd like to thank Serena Logan, who is back in the peanut gallery back there, Serena. She's our office volunteer, and we had her going from one store to the other just trying to get items for this auction and to take care of business, and she never let us down. Andrea Tartar for jumping in at the very last moment and making everything so much easier for us here. And of course, I thank our entire staff here, Debbie, Melissa, Teresa, and Victor, and our Board of Trustees members, particularly Gary Sparks, our fearless leader, Jim Harder, our Vice President and Development Committee Chair, and the Jim of the Jim and Tom Bourbon Poll, and Tom Federley, our Treasurer, and the Tom of the Bourbon Poll. I've just got to say that working with these people is such a blessing. It truly is, and a real pleasure. And that we have one of the most hardworking and functional boards I've ever seen in my life. So thank you, everybody. Finally, I do want to take a special moment to thank a very important person to plan, Jennifer Brown. She is a plan client whose son Richard has been in our program for about 20 years now. And Jennifer and her husband Richard have been so generous to us over the last few years, and their support has sort of changed the trajectory of our organization from this organization that continually struggled and wasn't sure, how we were going to survive financially, to one that can actually plan and be proactive and ensure that we will be here for the futures of the people we promised we'd be here for. Not just Jennifer's son, but everybody else here. We can't thank you enough or properly, Jennifer, for all you've done for us and for your investment in us and your encouragement of us as well. So really, many thanks to Jennifer Brown. At this point, I'd like to introduce our planned participant, David Young. Dave has been here working with us since 2017. And again, can't thank you enough, David, for sharing your story. Come on up here.
Thank you. In 2004, I was married to my wife, Heidi, and our lives were coming together to build a beautiful family. We had good jobs and a good marriage, and things were going really well for the both of us. At age 26, however, my life was shattered when I developed schizophrenia. I started hearing voices, and they were cruel to me and took over my life completely. I spent the last 15 years not understanding reality. It was really hard on me. I was hospitalized about 52 times in 15 years. And on a list of medications that changed a lot. I received care from the community and mental health system too, and eventually I came to and started to understand the illness and the hard work it would take to address my symptoms. To me, it felt like aliens had taken over my mind, and these unceasing thoughts tortured me in constant disorder and pain. In 2016, my parents called Plan to connect me with a care provider who could really help me manage my mental illness. I had squandered 20 years around the streets of Cincinnati, begging for food and cigarettes and navigating dangerous inner city neighborhood. But when I went my planned Southwest Ohio team, they brought friends and relationships into my life and fun recreational activities to help fulfill my life. I didn't feel so isolated and alone with these things in my life. They gave me great care and me knowledge and insight into my disorder. They found me a private doctor who was really focused on the proper medication for me. For the past 2 years, have seen a dramatic lessening of the alien voices, and I've claimed my independence from schizophrenia with the help of Plan. The last 2 years have been a major improvement from the pain I have suffered with this illness of schizophrenia. And while it's not perfect, I can definitely see improvement, and I feel like I have people in my corner. And I know that they will be there for me in my future. I can honestly say it was Plan Southwest Ohio that improved my quality of life. For that I am grateful. Excuse me, this is an emotional day. For that I'm grateful, and I hope for a better life even with this unpredictable and sometimes terrorizing mental illness. Plan gives me hope for a new day with improvement of my life. Thank you for your support.
I'll tell you what, David, you can't see this at home, but he just got a standing ovation from the people in the office here, and it's a well-deserved standing ovation. Thank you so much, David.
You're welcome.
It's a tough story, but I'm so glad you're here to share it. We adore you. You know that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, I hope that Michael, David, have convinced you of the value of Plan and our mission. And I invite you now to contribute to our efforts in Southwest Ohio to address these needs that Michael's daughter has and David has. And with that, we're going to start a paddle raise of sorts by asking you to go to the donation page of our website and giving us a gift in any amount. And we cannot tell you how much a gift, any gift, helps us out, especially now in this time of COVID, when our income has been pretty negatively affected. Please think about Dave's story and about Michael's story, and think about the 98 other people we have here with stories that are different but run a similar vein. We've been able to support Dave, this really good man who became ill with a devastating condition that no one would ever choose. Nobody signs up for this. Nobody would ever choose it. Dave's goodness just shines through his illness, and he contributes in such positive ways here, as do so many of our Plan participants. The staff would agree with me, correct? Yes. Serving our participants is really the easy part of what we do. We love doing this, and I think we're good at it. The hard part is this financial piece that I'm asking you to address right now. Because the financial piece can keep us operating this year and into the future, so that we can keep those promises that we've made to families who are so desperately worried about loved ones with disabilities like Dave's and like Grace Flannery. This is where you come in, and where you've always come in to help us. You really have. You've been great. We just can't do it without you. So I ask you to take a look at the donation page and make a donation of any amount that you feel comfortable with to help us get to our goal tonight of $35,000. And I thank you a lot for this. Okay.
Do it.
We're back again.